Welcome. I just want to welcome Jess Kutwixon for congratulations on being elected to school board. We're happy to have you. So
happy to be here.
Grateful to have another member of the community join our board. So thank you. Board reorganization, we already done it. That. I'm the chair again, thank you very much. Agenda review and disposition, is there anything to add?
Yes, I would like to add a non-public right after the minutes.
Okay.
That should be pretty quick.
You got it.
And then with the minutes, I also brought the minutes from last week, April 3rd. So it asked for both approvals of the March 3rd and April 3rd minutes.
You got it.
So you can go ahead and approve the minutes, and then we can just go into non-public.
Okay, perfect. Minutes of the 3rd. Did everyone get a chance to read them? Was there any questions about those? And how about the minutes from April 4th? Any questions on those? Someone like to make a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Thanks.
Second.
Thanks, Fran. Thanks, Jen. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Now we are going to go into non-public briefly, and then for personnel, and then we'll come out of non-public.
Do you need to approve the minutes of the last meeting as well?
Yes,
Yes.
we did. Sorry. Of the March 3rd and the March,
Oh, and.
Yeah.
yes. All right, so here we go. Into non-public. We have some very exciting news, so I'm going to pass it over to Kyla.
Sure. So just a little history here. We are doing 2 nominations tonight for the administrative structure. And we were really lucky to find out of the principal search, both a principal and what we're going to call an associate principal of student services and operations. We really clearly defined what each role would be, with the principal being the educational leader, the curriculum and instruction and assessment, really overseeing the data, day-to-day operations, obviously, and Title I. The second position, which is the associate principal position, is going to oversee student services and operations. From there, we will be adding a 3rd position that is not the student services coordinator, but they will be called, similar to the high school has the structure, it will be an assistant to the principal and athletic director. We're not looking for an administrator certified person. We are looking for somebody who has some great institutional knowledge around Plymouth, the community, kind of like the field trips that happen here, all the cool things, the traditions that happen, as well as the AD piece, because the AD piece was a lot to have in the administrative offices as well. This position would be part of the leadership team. It would be a non-union position. So it's exciting that we were able to kind of build based on the skills that we saw through the search. And I'll go through with who we have. So as the first nomination is for the principal job. Her name is, I'm going to nominate, we'll do each nomination. I'll kind of go through her qualifications first. Dr. Linda Green. Linda Green has decades of experience teaching. She has taught in the South. She has taught in the Bronx and in Manhattan as well. She moved to New Hampshire a while ago and was a principal at Rochester Middle School, and then is currently serving as the Bristol Elementary principal as well. She lives with her husband in Warren and is very excited to join the team. So her background, she is a certified principal, curriculum administrator, and assistant superintendent. So she has a wealth of certifications and is very excited to come here. So she's the first one. Yeah. So I would ask for approval of principal for Dr. Green.
Someone want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that we accept Dr. Linda Green as our principal nomination.
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. And thank you to Jen and Fran for sitting in on the interviews as well.
And Paula was on the committee as well.
Perfect. So thank you. It's an important role.
All right, the second position, which is associate principal, this gentleman's name is Rick Simula. Rick was a graduate of Plymouth Regional High School in the late 90s, I believe. He has been an assistant principal for several years at Mascoma Regional High School. He is also a certified special educator. He was a special educator.
Leanne just texted me and said that they're muted and they can't hear anything.
Sorry.
Well, they, oh,
Here we
oh,
go. There it is.
now I have to repeat all that? No, just kidding. So,
Please summarize.
yeah, so
Quickly.
Rick Simula will be nominated as the associate principal. Again, he was a Plymouth Regional High School graduate in the late 90s. He has been at the Mascoma Regional Valley High School as the associate principal, as well as he was a special educator there for several years. He also has he worked for the Landmark School as well, being a teacher, an English language arts teacher. That's a school for a lot of reading disabilities and learning disabilities in general in Massachusetts. And his original roots, which he shared, which wasn't on his resume, is that he started at the Plymouth State Child Care Center working with infants and toddlers. So he really has had the scope of dealing with pre-K-12 students. So his references really spoke to how great he is with kids, how great he is with teachers, and just a support to everyone in the building. And he's especially great around dealing with kids with complex needs or students in crisis as well. So he really has done a great job communicating with families and students where he is now. And then with Dr. Green, the principal nomination, her references really spoke to how well she connects with her staff and supports her staff, supports students and families, builds community, and really likes the details of a multi-grade school. It's not something I would be able to do, the pre-K through 8 schedules and all that stuff that's very complicated in a building like that, she thrives on. So both candidates got great references. I'm just summarizing for the group. But I'd like to nominate Rick Simula as the associate principal.
I'd like to make a motion to accept Rick Simula as our associate principal.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I would like to ask the board to approve the administrative structure with that third position being the assistant to the principal, athletic director, so I can post that soon. I will email the staff and community tomorrow with a press release as well as the job description for this new position, and we can get started on that. But I think the reason for moving on this now is we had 2 candidates that really filled the needs of the administrative structure now. So that's why we pulled them both. And it's competitive out there right now. So it's important for us to confirm that.
And I do want to support that, because being on that committee, and we did interview numerous people, and it was unanimous in that group that we wanted these two people. So
Right.
I really, just wanted people to know that.
Great.
Perfect. You need us to make a motion to be able to post that job?
To approve the to post this position.
Okay.
So moved.
Someone want to second that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
Super excited
Yep.
for the upcoming opportunities here at PES. It's a great place to be, so we're lucky to get some great candidates, so.
Even though we will be sad to see you guys go.
Correct, correct, of course. We're gonna turn it over to you, Tanya, for the principal report.
Okay, so we did not do a principals report last month. We were moving into our budget meetings, and so there's a lot to report on, but I am gonna move rather quickly to it, we have lots to discuss tonight. So, you have in front of you the paper document of my report. February, we had 100th Day Museum. a grade 8 parent meeting, our wonderful 4th grade wax museum. Read-a-Fun was the month of March, and that is a PTA event, and they were able to raise just shy of $10,000. So thank you to the PTA for that incredible hard work. The last winter program day happened for everyone, which was a success. Thank you to the rec department for their partnership on winter program. It's so great that we get to offer that to everyone. Town voting happened in the gymnasium on March 11th, and then town meeting in the PES gym later Wednesday night, March 12th.
Thank you for that.
Yes, absolutely. We had our PES snowball for middle schoolers here, which is a PES dance, and that was really fun. There's nothing better than seeing middle schoolers dance or not dance. March 20th was a very busy day at Plymouth Elementary School. We had mid-year parent-teacher conferences. It was a half day, and then the afternoon we had cultural arts night. Thank you to all of the SAU 48 art and music teachers, and especially to our very own Tamara Mann for making that event happen. The hallways were full of artwork. It was really beautiful.
That classroom with all the neon fluorescent.
Black light, yeah, it was beautiful. It was amazing.
Very cool.
April 1st, our 8th graders had move-up night over at the high school, and that was a different format than it has been, or that it was last year, and that was a huge success. We got a lot of good feedback from our 8th grade parents about that event. And then last week, we had the middle school musical Wonderland, and we had great turnout for those evening performances, and boy, am I impressed by the singing that our students do. It's really wonderful. Coming up here, we have a guest speaker for White Mountain National Forest joining the 4th grade on April 17th. There's a middle school dance in Ashland on the 18th. Ooh, this is big news. April 22nd, we will have Creatures Feature Bake Sale. So it's changing from the Wild Things Bake Sale to Creature Feature because that is the name of a unit that our 1st graders do. So we're not doing away with it, we're just renaming it. No school the last week of April going into May. May 8th, right, the first week we're back after vacation is Kindergarten Connections. We currently have 25 kindergartners signed up for Kindergarten Connection. We are anticipating at least 5 more. So we're keeping an eye on that, and I will update you next month about those numbers as well. That's an important number for us to keep our eye on. The May 9th, there's an SAU semi-formal dance in Campton at 6:30. I wanted to let you know that during the month of May, Plymouth Elementary School will be having their SAS testing, so that's May 13th, 14th, 15th, 20th, and 22nd. Then no school on Memorial Day, May 26th. Tentatively, we are proposing the last day of school to be Tuesday, June 17th. That will be a half day. That will mean that we make up 3 days, 3 snow days.
It's the last day at noon.
Last day at noon. And that tentative 8th grade graduation Friday, June 13th at 6 p.m. So, any questions about those calendar dates before I move on?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
We held our last Keys to Literacy professional development coaching sessions on March 12th and 13th. That's been a 3-year partnership with Keys to Literacy, so we've wrapped that up. And the literacy leadership team for SAU 48 has taken the notes from those meetings and are using that information to plan the next literacy plan for SAU 48. I have in front of you, I provided you with a little assessment packet. This is a couple of months ago, but I think it's worth taking you through. This has already been shared with all of the faculty members. There's a slide for each grade. On the left-hand side is literacy, and on the right-hand side is math. And you can see from the triangles, what you want to see is more green, less red. And you want to see growth between those 2 triangles. So it's really clear, in kindergarten, that there's more green coming through the school year. And again, in first grade, you can see growth, less red and more green, both in literacy, but really predominantly in math in first grade on that. So I'll give you a moment to just review that's a very broad overview, but it's nice to see, especially one of the things I'd like to point out as you look at that is that I always say it's a 9-year project, right? What we want is graduating at the end of 8th grade as many kids who are proficient in reading and math as possible. So it's also thinking about our kids along that whole spectrum. And you can really see the strength in our academic programming in this building. Want to let you know that we are continuing to look at attendance patterns and to reach out to families. Recently, Mrs. Carey and I have visited a couple of families on their doorstep to say you need to come to school, picked up some kids, saying, and in both cases where we've done that, it's really made a difference around attendance. So we are continuing to work on that project. The March faculty meeting focused on MTSSB, which is a comprehensive program that the Department of Ed provides for free to schools in New Hampshire. They support social, emotional, and behavioral programming for kids, and really take it's not a program that they come and have the school adopt. They work with a group of educators from the building to develop what's appropriate for this setting. And our plan is to have them work with the new administration and to do that work over the next couple of years with Plymouth Elementary School. So that was an introduction to that. And Kyla had done some research on that. I'd done some research on that. So I believe that will be
Yeah, it's just a streamlined process for systems, that's all it is. So you go through the entire school, they come in, they analyze, talk to all the teachers, and go from there as far as what they can recommend for behavior systems and academic as well. But more around behavior.
Yeah, and social
If that
emotional.
program is still funded through the Department
Yes,
of Ed.
so stay tuned. In addition, some time was taken we did an all faculty and professional staff book read of That One Kid. It's a book by Brian Mendler, and it just is a way to explore the roots of behavior in the classroom and why kids are having the behavior that they do, and then lots of practical takeaways for classroom teachers. Want to come back to co-curricular for a moment. I know I just mentioned the play, but I'd like to officially thank Ellen Hand, Ann Doyle, Estee Campbell, Arabella Abigo, Audrey Ringline, and Deb McManus for their help with the play. They really put in countless hours to support our kids making that happen, and it was fantastic. Also, the TSA State Conference and competition last Saturday. Thank you to Julie Panis for all of her work for the TSA conference. Recent CARE Award winners, because I don't think you've been notified about this in the last 3 months, are all listed there. So it's Willa Moreau, Jack Ringline, Lucas Lescarbeau, Patrick Fuller, Avalon Maher, Noah Corin, Bennett Olette, Sophie Chappell, and Henry Sturgeon. So they were all highlighted for their community mindedness. So congratulations to all of them. Two things we don't always do, but I got 2 nominations for this. So Erica LeBrun is nominating Tessin Arguello for a Rockstar Award. She was incredibly helpful at winter program skating. She helped tie skates of all the younger kids, always helped them up, and she encouraged them to keep trying. When leaving the bus, she helped the students get all their stuff and check for their belongings behind them. So really nice to see that natural leadership.
Is this a student?
Yes. That is she's a student in 5th grade.
Okay.
And then Morgan Goulet, who happens to be her cousin, also made a silent donation to a peer who recently joined Plymouth Elementary School. Pretty significant donation around clothing and some other things. So shout out to her for her kindness. Just that being aware of others and helping is really remarkable. For teachers and staff, I'd like to thank Nancy Stock for organizing the middle school Winter Olympics. Excellent fun for kids and adults. About 8 PES alumni came back for the annual volleyball game at the end of the day. It's nice to see the alumni come back as well, so thank you to Nancy. Andy, I'd like to shout out Andy McDonald for organizing and presenting for the 8th grade parent night. He did a wonderful job. Chrissy Simmons and Christine Sterner for hosting the Wax Museum, not only throughout this whole school day, but in the evening to welcoming all those parents back into the building. First grade team for organizing the 100-day museum, and the K team for organizing the 100th day fashion show, which is nothing cuter in the whole world than the 100th day fashion show with the kindergartners. PTA meeting happened last Wednesday night, but the next meeting will be May 7th, 2025, right here in the gym, right here in the library. So please come out for the PTA meeting. And then just a facilities update. 2 water fountains were replaced. They had become so unreliable that we needed to have those replaced. The volleyball plates were installed on the gymnasium floor, finishing that flooring project. The cafeteria kitchen did pass its fire protection inspection, so that's good. And we did meet last week with CCI regarding the HVAC unit that was approved at the district meeting for the science classroom. And John Cormier is interviewing for second shift custodial help. As you know, it's been very hard to keep our custodial staff fully, all the positions filled. So he's working hard on that. Wanted to revisit the calendar, which we had discussed but tabled. I met with Lisa Ash, and she said she's going to see what she can do. She thinks she can help out with some limited support for working families on those days. We do feel that those days are pretty important. I did just happen to look at other calendars of other area schools, and many schools have a PD day, half day a month. So 3 feels like a reasonable amount, and that the Park and Rec or the Rec department can help us out for the youngest kids. So I am going to request that we approve the calendar as developed.
Okay.
There are no changes.
Okay.
And this lines up, I'm assuming, with the rest of the SAU, Kyla?
Just the start
Well,
date.
you all have different contracts, so.
Right.
So we just try to start on the same day.
Okay.
But we all get out on different days and different PD days and stuff like that.
Okay. Someone want to make a motion? Or did you
I'll
have
make a
any?
motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll second.
perfect. All in favor of the calendar as presented?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right. Ellie, what you got?
All right, I'm going to also quickly go backwards to the winter, although I really don't want to. Because I'm so tired of winter.
Yeah.
But there's some definite notables that we didn't get to. Both the Nordic and the wrestling teams finishing up with their state meets. So our boys team ended up placing 6 out of a field of 22 schools, and the girls team placed 3rd overall out of 22 schools. And that was back at the Sandwich Fairgrounds on February 19th. A notable individual was Riley Mask, who is a 7th grader here, finished in the top 10, placing 7th overall for the girls' side. So good job to all of them. Our wrestling team as well, they have separate wrestling events, boys and a girls. And so the boys were at Bedford High School back on February 23rd. 4 of our wrestlers actually podiumed that day. Dalton Kerrigan, who is from Holderness, was 6th. Henry Milanovich was 6th. Braxton Beebe was 4th. And Charlie Clifford placed 2nd in their weight classes. Those last 3 are all PES students. And both Charlie and Braxton, finishing in the top 4, qualified for the New England meet, which was at Fitchburg, Mass. On March 15th and 16th. Both of them did really well. They didn't podium, but won a couple of matches. And obviously at the New Englands, you're seeing a much wider range of abilities and kids from all over. So it's a great day of competition. On the girls, their first meet was postponed due to weather, and then they wrestled, where did they wrestle? They were at Pelham High School, and the girls had a great day. All of our girls made the podium. So Olivia Bean, who is Wentworth Elementary, was 6th place. Annalise Shannon from Plymouth was 4th. Madison Bean from Wentworth was 3rd. Audrey Leone from Wentworth was 2nd, and Chloe Carr from PES was 2nd. And then again, those top 4, so Chloe, Audrey, Madison, and Annalise all qualified as well to go to the New Englands. And 2 of the girls, Audrey from Wentworth was 2nd place in her weight class, and Annalise took 5th place. So girls had a great couple of days. So congrats to all of them. So just wanted to note that. Now, hopefully moving on to warmer weather. We had several of our students take advantage of the sports physicals. Those were offered at PES on April 1st. Many thanks to Plymouth Pediatrics and the help of Nurse Sandy Rodriguez here at Plymouth for their assistance. Our spring sports officially began today. We had our baseball team start off bright and early at 7 a.m. this morning in the gym, and then track and field met today after school. Softball team will begin tomorrow. The numbers are very good with either 76, 78 participants across the 3 teams. And hopefully if the weather cooperates and we can get out there on our fields, all 3 teams will start their competitive portion on Thursday, April 17th. And then I'm going to take you through all the seasons. We're going ahead to the fall. And just as a heads up that we'll probably do fall signups the last week of May, first week of June, and then all the fall sports schedules are already under construction. So we're in good shape there. Safety, our safety committee met last week to review final drills, future emergency management courses that we take through FEMA, and then any of the end of the year housekeeping to prepare for next year. Things like updating over the summer the PES emergency operations plan, the revision of the building map here with some of the new construction and rooms that we had developed last year, and then obviously our members' commitment to the committee for next year. The spring bus evacuation drills will be taking place the morning of April 15th with the 16th as a rain date. And again, thank you to the safety members whose schedules allowed them to volunteer to help out that morning. And then we are in really good shape with all of our drills, and we only have 2 more to complete of the required 10 drills that we have to do, and those will be coming up in the next 2 months. So we're in good shape.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Privilege of the floor, number 1. Yes, Ted.
I have a question about this additional position. How is that being funded?
So there was an additional position of student services administrator already budgeted. So it's with those funds. We are not going to fill it with that specific position. So these are the skills that we have left as far as administration, and then they should be covered. So it's budgeted.
Geneva.
It happened so quickly. I didn't catch how many were signed up for kindergarten.
25. And just to note that we've called all the child care centers and looked at siblings.
How many kids do you usually get for that? Around?
That's about what we've gotten. That's what we've gotten for the last 2 years. We always get some move-ins. It's been, but it's a moving target. I think we've done better in the last 2 years of reaching out to the area child care centers. It's the family that maybe doesn't have an older sibling and isn't connected. It doesn't have a child in a child care center. Those are the kids we seem to miss.
I did see the ad in the newspaper.
Good.
I mean, not that anyone reads a newspaper, but I did see it. So it is there. You guys are doing the outreach, so we're grateful
tempting
for that for sure. Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to make any comments during our? All right. Seeing none, we will move on. So we completed the calendar. grant program assurances. Question?
Sure. So with federal grants, every year you have to sign off on the assurances. So the board chair has to initial them. They're all for all federal grants. They're still happening as of now, so I would ask that you sign these tonight. Each page, you just have to initial it, and we just have to get it in the minutes. It's a new law.
Okay.
So,
I would be happy
Jenny, if you can just add that in.
that I will initial all the pages. Thank you. All right, we're gonna do that. Any other business? We're gonna do nominations in non-public.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we seeing any impact from what happens at the federal level? Like, is it sort of just like wait and see?
Yeah, I mean, the most recent surprise was Friday. I had to sign an order stating that we would not have DEIJ programs in schools if we're going to receive funding. And if I did not turn it in by tomorrow or Wednesday, there's a list sent to the feds to restrict federal funding to those districts. So that was a surprise. Stuff's happening fairly quickly. So we are, just working with council, what we can do and what we can't do, and some of it down the road they might be able to take back. Like I heard that there might be an injunction filed with this, what we had to sign the other day. So if it's null and void, then it becomes null and void. But at this point, I'm not going to put at risk the federal funding for that piece. So we did sign them for all districts. But it's just, there's new headlines every day that we're not necessarily informed about. So we're just trying to keep up. But that's the biggest piece. That was the most direct piece that we've seen so far.
Got it. Great. Thanks.
But I will certainly update you the more we get, especially there's multiple bills in the state that could change what we do significantly. So many with momentum.
So like with these grants, do we get the money up front for grants, or?
They haven't sent out the allocations yet, which we usually have the allocations at this point. We have not received any. We do anticipate that the allocations for Title 1 through 4 will still come in, as well as IDEA special ed grant. Mm-hmm. My guess is there's going to be a significant cut to Medicaid reimbursement at the federal level and at the state level. So that you usually see on your revenue side, not a grant, but it's where it's a funding stream for us in special education. So these grants may be allocated to states as block grants, and then the state can decide how they're dispersed. So that may mean sticking with the same formula of which school gets what, or changing their formula to expand to possible schools other than public schools. So I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Okay.
But I haven't had an indication either way. The New Hampshire Department of Ed is going to have cuts as well, so I don't know who's going to be overseeing that piece. So hopefully we get it.
But funding for special education was just increased, is that correct?
It's a little bit of a false narrative.
Okay.
So typically for special education, we're supposed to, so it's your old catastrophic aid. So a student placed out of district that costs more than 3.5 times your cost per pupil, you should be reimbursed at 100%. Well, for at least 10 to 15 years, it was about at 60. Last year, it was less. It was at 40. So this year, they put it back in, but it's still only at 60.
Okay, got it.
So they're still not funding it how it's supposed to be funded. So yes, they did put a little bit more in, but it still doesn't cover it, because where the state fell short is they had that new law that expanded special education to the age of 22. So that group alone, typically the kids that are still in the public school system at that point have complex needs, and did take a lot of the funds for that, and they came up short statewide on that, so we didn't get the funds. So
Okay.
one of those unintended consequences of the previous law. So, hope that helps, Sam.
Yeah, no, it does. I'm just
There's a
curious.
lot of I don't knows, unfortunately.
Right, you read a lot. There's a lot in the papers. and
Yep.
So I'm just curious to what extent we're starting to see that.
Yep.
What we're being forced or what we should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, so the big things, there's a lot of uncertainty and we don't have numbers in right now, so. Just wait and see.
Okay.
It's a waiting game. Yeah. All right, privilege of the floor number 2. Well, all right. So I will make a motion. Someone want to make a motion to go into non-public? Did everybody sign the manifest? Well, so
Jessica's like, what is that?
So let me tell you what it is, Jess, as a new school board member. So you will get an email from KK in the SAU office.
She's our bookkeeper.
Once a month, one of us as a school board member goes in to review all the money that's going out. So I look at every single,
So you've already.
I've done this already, so I look at every single invoice. Does it make sense? What's it for? Where's the money going? Do we need this? You know, I ask a million questions. If I don't understand, I always get a great explanation, and then we sign off on it, and then we bring it to our school board meeting, and then the rest of us as a board sign off of it. But once a month, one of us goes in to review, and I'm like a stickler for looking at every single invoice. It takes me a really long time. So, you'll get a call at some point.
It's enlightening.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It's a good chance to learn too, to see where the money goes. So it's good.
Yep, checks and balances.
Correct.
Yep,
Correct.
all
Yep.
right.
All right, so someone want to make a motion to go into non-public?
I move we go into non-public.
I'll second.
Okay.
For
All in favor of
personnel.
going into non-public?
Aye.
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 Yeah.